He's gone up from 77 to 95, but he didn't quite get home in the Queen's Vase, and he ought still to be competitive back over a more suitable trip this afternoon. A couple back from him is number 2, Pether's Moon, who will be the mount of Richard Hughes for Richard Hannon, and he's better than his last 2 runs would suggest, albeit that he was a good second at Newmarket last time.
They didn't go fast enough for him that day, Stuart, really. I think his best performance was in unlucky defeat at Royal Ascot. And although HANDICAP's a progressive horse who beat him, I think Pether's Moon's got a bit more to offer than that.
Yeah,
I think it might be close between them this time.
Okay. If we go back over to this side of the parade ring, I wonder if we'll see any more before they start heading out. There are still 1 or 2 more jockeys to jump aboard. Martin Dwyer in the middle in the black and yellow is going to get aboard Royal Signaller in due course for trainer Amanda Perrott, who's looking for a 3rd win in this race. And 1 or 2 of the others just spinning around the bottom end of the parade ring. A couple of the Johnston pair about to head out as well. Just coming into the parade ring is horse number 1, Bold Sniper, seeking to give Sir Michael Stout a 6th winner in this race. Got up in a tight finish at Ascot to win last time, and he's up to 99 now, up another 6 for that win.
What a classy looking horse this is. He's lived slightly on his nerves. That's the reason for his late entrance to the paddock. But another improved effort to beat Cafe Society last time, and he's got some fancy entries, this horse, and at the moment he's progressing hand over fist.
Another Johnston runner in the race is number 9, Salutation, the mount of Sylvester de Souza, scored at Ripon a fortnight ago. That came off a mark of 85. He runs off 90 today.
He's a big, strong unit. He can take a keen hold, and really getting into the right type of rhythm is keen for him. If he's taken on up front, which his task will be a bit easier with London Bridge out of the way, and if he gets into it and gets rolling, he can be a hard horse to peg back.
We talked about Royal Skies, who's immediately behind him, but if we come back further, we'll find Royal Signaller, who will be among the last one out for this RSC handicap. For Amanda Perrott and Martin Dwyer, course and distance success in cheek pieces in June, and then a good second to Cafe Society at Salisbury last time.
Another horse with that Cafe Society in his form. The local runner, Amanda Perrott's got a good record here. This horse will take them along early. Again, my worry is that it's going to be hard for those horses up front with so much pace signed on here.
Okay. So a field of 9 for the RAC handicap, with Shrewd out and London Bridge withdrawn a few moments ago.
Yeah, some talented progressive 3-year-olds here. And the betting is headed by the Queen's Bold Sniper, son of New Approach, Roy Moore on board. Pether's Moon is 4-1. It's been well supported. No surprise with connections. HANDICAP is also 4-1. 9-2 is Royal Skies. Is 15-2 bigger. The remainder. Note the money for Van Persie. 12s into 8s.
Runners at the post then for the RAC handicap, which was first run in 1990. Luca Kamani took several of the initial runnings of the race, and in total he looks now for a 5th winner in this contest, represented this time around by number 7, HANDICAP, who's centre of shock. Kieran Fallon in the saddle for this hat-trick seeker, who's got a verdict over Pether's Moon, that coming most recently at Newmarket. I thought there were reasons for believing that Pether's Moon might reverse that today, James.
Well, yeah, and central of those is the £8 rise afforded to HANDICAP. He's a promising horse. The question is, that was a slightly messy race, not run at an all-round gallop. Can HANDICAP improve off that?
He's a 4-1 chance so to do. We had a look at Royal Skies in the parade ring, but you didn't really get an opportunity to discuss his chances. A steadily ascending handicap mark for this progressive individual, who probably found ultimately 2 miles in the Queen's Vase stretching him last time.
He looks terrific. He didn't stay 1.5 miles. His previous form's very solid. Progressing by the race, typical Mark Johnson horse, absolutely has to go well.
And he'll probably be pushing forward, I should imagine, from a reasonably wide drawing stall turn.
Yeah, that's my only worry about even with London Bridge out of the lineup. Just a question mark about whether the front 2 or 3 might take each other on.
And a brief line about Van Persie, who is being back from 12-1 down to 8-1 late on. He's been given a break since his last run at Musselburgh.
But I think that was an excellent performance, that race. Really good form, I think, 3rd to Dashing Star. The horse getting better. As long as he settles, and a fast pace should enable him to do so, I think he'll be ridden in Ramsden style, off the pace. The owner's of course, Ramsden and their friends Richard Morecambe. So I think that this horse Van Persie has got a really good chance. I think he's an each way bet here.
Okay. Anything that you did like?
Yeah, I think my overall selection will be Royal Skies. I think he's got the class to actually be a notch better than this.
And they're off. Mile and a half in front of the field for the RAC Stakes. Havana Cooler just a little bit slow to find stride, niggled along early on. Johnston Fair well to the fore with Royal Skies in the red cap, green jacket, and the yellow cap of Salutation. Pether's Moon is well on the premises as well with Elidor, Royal Signaller. Van Persie's posted wide into the turn and is also keen. The horse in the noseband is 3 or 4 wide. Bold Sniper is under restraint. Havana Cooler is 1 from the back, and last of all is Pitune. So making the turn, and out in front Royal Skies, leading by a couple of lengths or so from Salutation in second. Pether's Moon getting a little lit up now in third place on the inside of Royal Signaller and Van Persie, and indeed that pursuing trio are all pretty fiery in third, fourth and fifth. Plenty are pulling, so no more than even pace with Elidor behind these Bold Sniper, Havana Cooler, and at the back end the blue cap of Pitune. So out in front, Royal Skies continuing to point the toe and leading by a couple of lengths from in second place at Salutation, who in turn is a couple of lengths clear from Van Persie in third place. Back in fourth races Royal Signaller. Pether's Moon is taken back to midfield in an attempt to get the horse to settle. Red and black colours on the inside of Elidor, Havana Cooler on the outside of Bold Sniper, two of the big guns in the market, and at the rear of the field is Pitune. So Royal Skies continuing to stretch them out here. Several of these were pulling and their riders were keen to restrain them, but Royal Skies has got a little bit of a track advantage here of a couple of lengths over Salutation, who in turn is a good 4 lengths clear from in third Van Persie, in fourth place Royal Signaller, then Pether's Moon. Behind these Elidor, Havana Cooler getting pushed along in seventh place on the outside of Bold Sniper. So Royal Skies with stable companion Salutation a little closer as they begin the descent. In third place Van Persie is still 4 lengths away. In fourth towards the inside and pushed along for the first time is Royal Signaller, then Elidor and Pether's Moon, and still these front two have this healthy advantage. Havana Cooler still being pushed along, racing a little indolently, then Bold Sniper. Royal Skies on the left, the red cap, Salutation the yellow cap. They still lead by about 2 to 3 lengths. In third place Van Persie is getting closer with Elidor. Bold Sniper angled out now. All the time Havana Cooler being wound up down the centre, typical Kieran Fallon style. Pether's Moon trying to take a braver route up the inside. Salutation moves past Royal Skies, still there yet to be collared. Down the outside Havana Cooler, Pether's Moon weaving his way through. Richard Hughes, the familiar sight of him looming large on pursuit of the leaders. It's Salutation, Pether's Moon in second place, then Van Persie and Havana Cooler. Richard Hughes again out in front. It's Pether's Moon under a pretty ride, keen early, taken back, weave through, the master of Goodwood. Pether's Moon beat Salutation, Havana Cooler, Van Persie next, Elidor, and they were clear of Royal Skies.
On more favourable weight terms and under a patient ride, Pether's Moon has comprehensively reversed Newmarket form with a third placed Havana Cooler. The first 2 homes split by the Mark Johnston train, Salutation. Another Hughes masterclass on the Sussex Downs. Pether's Moon, who jumped off handily, but he was steadily taken back through the field before halfway, James, and then it was a case of Hughes threading a passage up the inner, and the gaps came when he needed them, and in one case when he managed to manufacture one, and he delivered Pether's Moon to pick off the ever-prominent Salutation.
Yeah, the Newmarket race, as we thought, didn't show this horse to full advantage. He needs an end-to-end gallop, which he got due to the Braveheart horses cutting each other's throats up front and setting it up for a closer. And he needed this sort type of ride. You can see why he'd be a horse that would look particularly unlucky in a Royal Ascot handicap. And indeed, if he'd been hampered again today, he would have looked really unlucky, because he's a real smooth travelling bridle artist that you've got to kind of finesse to the front inside the final furlong. And what jockey can do that better than Richard Hughes? And he split horses over a furlong out and left the horse's chin hanging out for the minimum time. I thought Havana Cooler on the outside probably ran as well as he did at Newmarket. Remember, he'd been raised £8. Van Persie will have really encouraged connection.